morning, ladies and gentlemen of the press and other invited members. We are here today to update you on the status of the 15th Caribbean Cycling Championship Elite Road Race, which will take place here in Barbados next month. As many of you know, cycling has been a real pivotal sport in the Caribbean and Barbados, and over the years, Barbadian cyclists and Caribbean cyclists have done tremendously well at not only regional championships but international championships. And it is only appropriate that Barbados, I believe, holds a tournament of a championship or a road race of this stature. As I said, it's called the 15th Caribbean Elite Road Race Cycling Championship. It takes place over 2 days during the middle of October. And as we go ahead for the next 20 minutes, we're going to hear a lot more about it. To my left, we have the president of the Barbados Cycling Union, Mr. Keith Yearwood.
Pleasure to be here.
To my right, we have the head of the Caribbean Media Corporation, who are sponsors, one of the sponsors of the event, Mrs. Lori Weatherhead. And to my far right, Mr. Charlie Pyle, who needs no introduction because of his history and involvement in the sport. He is the logistics manager for the event. So we're going to start today by allowing Mr. Yearwood to update you on the status of the event.
It's a pleasure to be here. The Barbados Cycling Union has been granted the privilege of hosting the 15th Caribbean Elite Road Race Championships. This is the third championship that will be held in Barbados. In 2007, we had the Junior Caribbean Championships. And in 2009, we did the Elite Caribbean Championships. In fact, we are about the fourth country in 15 years to be hosting the championships on at least 3 occasions. This year, it expects to be one of the biggest and one of the best, I believe, championships that will be held in the 15 years. To date, we've got 23 countries participating, registering their participation with the Barbados Cycling Union and the championships. We're expecting in excess of 120 athletes and approximately 50 to 60 officials accompanying those countries. The Barbados Cycling Union has been working assiduously since November last year. We got the championships in October. And we've been working assiduously to ensure that we do all in our power to give this championship the hype it deserves. And today is a fitting occasion to launch the 15th Caribbean Elite Road Race Championships.
Thank you so much, Keith. We're going to hear from one of the sponsors now, the Caribbean Media Corporation, Mrs. Weatherhead.
Hi, good morning. CMC, we're pleased to partner with the Barbados Cycling Union to put on this. We're pleased to partner with the Cycling Union to put on this Elite Road Race, the Caribbean Cycling Championship Elite Road Race, which is supposed to be here or scheduled to be here 17th and 18th of October. And our role is to provide a wider exposure to the sport through our network, CariVision. CariVision, as most of you will know, is seen via cable in over 23 Caribbean territories. It's also in the U.S., in the New York tri-state area, and also it can be seen via IPTV in New York and also in the UK. So that alone would afford the cycling and cycling enthusiasts the reach to see. Our reach is in excess of 2 million households at the moment. So as a result of that, CMC is proud to work with the Cycling Union and any other associations across the region looking to showcase their sports, their activities, whatever it is that they want to get the wider reach to. CMC is there to offer you coverage to. Okay?
Lovely. And for an update on where we exactly are in terms of preparation for this event, we're going to hear from the logistics manager for the event, Charlie.
Well, we are approximately 85% complete at this time. The remaining 15% is stuff which can be achieved within the time left. The logistics would cover our timing equipment, our arrival and departure teams, our translation services, our race configurations, all of the things necessary for the safe and efficient running of the event. As early as February this year, we would have sent several letters to the various administrative bodies and agencies, the Royal Barbados Police Force, the Ambulance Service, the Sports Medicine Association, and various other key players which would be critical in the running of this event and the safe running of this event. As things progressed, we brought on board, of course, the Ministry of Transport and Works to make sure that the road conditions were correct, the Barbados Water Authority, because of the fact that they were doing a major project in the area of the circuit, and we needed to liaise very closely with them that the excavation and other works, major works, would be complete in time for the successful completion of the race. We are also dealing with our sponsors to provide various resources. One of the things that we are going to do for the first time is to create a Games Village Expo experience on the second day, which is the 18th, Sunday the 18th. It's an all-day event at Bushy Park. Obviously, it starts very early, 7:30, with the women's event, which should last about 3 hours, 3.5 hours. There'll be a 45-minute break, and then the men's event, which will last just under 5 hours. So it's a whole day of racing. This circuit is just under 15 kilometers long, 14.9 or somewhere about. Therefore, it will take the men approximately 27 minutes, 28 minutes to lap. During that time, we had to think of something to keep our spectators and patrons occupied. And to do this, we have set up a Games Village where we will provide food, light entertainment, health services, various vendors. We are hoping that vendors for sports clothing, vitamin supplements, etc., are there so that patrons can come and have a day of it. We also want to set up facilities for the kids, the youngsters, and there will be a demonstration of our youth development program and the radical bike racers, the BMX type racers doing their stunts in a section of this Games Village. So that has all been arranged, it's all being set up. We're just, as I said, tying up the loose ends now, which is the remaining 15%. And we look forward to a very eventful and successful exercise. Now, again, because this race is a 15-kilometer circuit, it means that spectators will only be able to see the riders flash by for a few seconds, because they'll be averaging somewhere in the area of 36 to 40, 44 kilometers an hour. So they'll flash by your observation point 2 seconds. What we've partnered with Slipstream through CMC to provide live coverage. When I say live coverage, let me be very specific. They will be covering the footage of the race and providing it to a live stream point so that spectators should be able to see the competition from whatever the location is on the course. They should be able to see the competition on the entire course. And this is going to be offered on a streaming screen at the Start Village, and we also want to offer it on streaming service for smartphones, tablets, etc. It would also be obviously available in the territories from which the cyclists come. So again, this will be a first, and we are working very diligently for this technology to be put in place. Mr. Ian Robinson is responsible for the timing systems, which is another very critical aspect of the race, especially when dealing with the individual time trial. And he's basically on top of that. The transponders, the bikes are fitted with electronic transponders, which report back to computerized sensors, and everything is done automatically. And those systems are in place. So all the technology is in place for timing and coverage of this event. And we look forward to actually making our mark and giving cycling the profile it deserves from this event.
Thanks, Charlie. Keith, before we go back to the Cycling Union President, Charlie, can you give us an idea of the circuit that will be used for this event?
Okay, well, there are two events. The first event is the individual time trial, which starts at the Worley Pavilion in mile and a quarter, and it proceeds towards the Norma Niles roundabout for the men. The women's return point is a very small roundabout just past Bagatelle playing field. They will complete their distance by turning at that point and returning. So this is basically a flat road, very few inclines, and designed for the cyclists to be able to effect as high a speed as possible over the duration of the course. The men, as I said, will go to the Norma Niles roundabout and return, a distance of just under 40 kilometers, and that event is decided on the person covering the distance in the least amount of time. There will be a 2-minute interval between riders. Therefore, in some cases, riders will be caught, but at this level, the riders will tend to maintain some gap between them, but there will be the occasional rider that will be caught. The second day is a very challenging course, which was designed by Livingston Headley, our racing secretary. It starts, if our listeners are familiar with the Bushy Park racing area, the car racing area, the car track, to the south of the car track, there is a wide expanse of open grass, a pasture area marked by the Chauffet Corporation for parking in relation to car racing. We're going to use that wide open space for the setup of our games village and our staging point, and it's the start finish. So in that area, we're going to have our generators, our timing system, our tentage. Sponsors are going to put down all their branding, etc. And the race is going to start there. It's going to proceed towards the south to the Beulah Chapel corner. And this is a modification because initially it was a shorter route, but we had to lengthen that course in order to meet the UCI, the Union Cycliste Internationale's regulation that a championship event must be of 150 kilometers. So we go to Beulah corner, then we turn eastward towards the junction with Hill the Ski School is. Hill the Ski School, yeah. And we turn back northwards then towards the King George V Park, out towards Ruby, past Sanford, out towards Three Houses, climbing Three Houses Hill. At the top of Three Houses Hill, there will be a right turn heading north to the bottom of Shorts Hill, turn left up Shorts Hill, which is the most challenging point of the course. And it's also the secondary point that we want to encourage spectators. That's where all the action is going to be. We're also going to set up some facilities there. Our feeding stations are going to be there, which should be 4 tents for the international teams. We have local enthusiasts who traditionally set up their tentage in that area. So we're gonna go over there within the next couple of weeks and try to debush as much as we can and clear up the area and prepare it for persons who might want to use that area. On the climbing of Stuart Hill, you run into Messiah Street and you come to that corner for Road St. John. You're turning south back then towards District C Police Station, down District C Hill, which is a very exciting descent, where we expect speeds to approach 62, 63, 64 kilometers an hour. Sudden braking at the bottom, a quick S-turn back onto the Bushy Park Road, leading you back to the start finish. And that will complete about 14.9 kilometers, I believe, is the circuit. And that should take you about 26 minutes for the men.
Thanks so much, Charlie.
Kevin, if I could just
Yes, yes.
make a very important point. We keep referring to the Caribbean Elite Road Championships, but as our PRO reminded me before this meeting, Mr. Robinson, it will be the first time we are also holding an under-23 category. And if you look at our backdrop, you'll see the under-23 championships is as well included. So this is the first time that the Caribbean Cycling Confederation will actually be racing an under-23 category in the championship. So it is prudent that we acknowledge this, and also that we state that we do have a very strong presence in the under-23 classification, because a lot of the riders on our national team are under-23, and some of the stronger riders, Jamal Eastman, to name one. I believe Sutherland is also under 23. They will stand a very good chance and to be very competitive in this category. The elites and everyone races together, but then the under 23s are pulled out separately from the overall competition.
Hello? Corey Grace from The Advocate. With the team kind of segmented, you said the guys are in Trinidad, some came out of Eastern Europe, and it's a road race. Will Barbados be riding as a team or individuals? I mean, we see international teams riding for a specific person to win. Will this be the same case for Barbados?
Yes. It is called the individual road race. That's the classification from the UCI. However, it is a team event, and especially on this course, there will need to be a team effort. Our composition is a mixture of persons who are strong, peddlers who ride and descend well, who ride flat well and descend well. I believe our best climber should be Darren Matthews, but he will need some support because he can't stay on the front all the time. If there are developments within the course of the race and he needs to stay in contact, there will need to be a team effort to keep the best contenders in contact with the front of the race at all times and give them the best opportunity at their climbing skills, so that the end effect is that the team comes out successful with medals. Now, the fact that the riders are scattered over South America, the Caribbean, and just inform Europe is not significantly important because they know each other and they will be returning home in enough time to get at least 1 or 2 training races together. They've done this course already at the national championships, and there's also been another event on this course. So they've ridden it. Most of them have ridden it twice already, and all of them at least once. So this will be the second outing on it, and we expect that there should be really no issues. Coach Santos will be getting these teams together. We haven't appointed a manager yet, but not knocking around a few names, but we haven't appointed a manager yet. But in the team briefings, this can all be done administratively. And when these guys get on the road, they're all experienced riders and they will know what to do. And the more experienced riders, the younger riders or the less experienced riders in the group can be guided by the more experienced riders when they actually get into the competition.
Follow up to that, have you all appointed a team leader in terms of the team, so that we know who's looking forward in terms of being a leader?
Well, I would defer questions like that to the coach, but normally, Coach Santos is here, but normally in road cycling, the team leader is the strongest rider. The team leader would normally be the national champion. And in both cases, that would seem to be Matthews at this point in time. Not discounting the other riders. There are other riders that are doing very, very well. The Kellys are riding extremely well. But Matthews has the experience. He has the championship jersey. And it would be a matter for the race team administration, then the manager and the coach, along with the riders, to decide on who the team captain would be. But on paper, what I've just discussed would indicate to me that it should lead toward the person I had mentioned. But I don't know if Coach Santos would like to add a few words to that, a few comments. Senor, por favor.
Well, for this thing, we have two categories, right? We have on the 23, we have in this group, we have Jamal Isman, that is the best rider in this group, right? And the elite, we have Darian Matthew. That is my idea for these two leaders in this group, right? But the first, so what happened? We had to get gold medal in road race, right? That's my idea, gold medal. So we have working for Darian Matthew. Everybody working for Darian Matthew. That's my point.
Need to add anything, Charles? What?
No, I think I would like to encourage all cycling enthusiasts to come out for this event. Let's look at it as a springboard to the future. The new benchmark in putting cycling back to where it's supposed to be. We have not been able to do a lot of track riding, which is where cycling had built its reputation in the past. We have not been able to do a lot of track riding because of the disrepair of the velodrome. And even when the velodrome is repaired, it is still a facility which is dated. The modern track racing is done on a much smaller, more exciting track. So we need to push our road events as much as possible. We've got good roads, we've got fairly good road cyclists to compare with the regional and world scene. And we would like to encourage you all. We're putting all the facilities in place of an international event. We're putting all the amenities in place. There will be bathroom facilities in the locations for patrons. There will be food available, entertainment available. So I'm encouraging you all to come out, come on the Short Hill climb, see the excitement of the climb. We allow up to lap 10 persons who are in that Short Hill area to go on the course and get back to the start finish for the finish if you need to do so. But as I said, we'll be streaming, so you can stay in whatever location you are and see the finish without being obstructed by other spectators. You can see it live on your cell phone. So we're hoping that all those people who have a love for cycling will rekindle their love and come out and support our team, support our riders, and help the sport move back into the position that it enjoyed in previous times.
Thanks so much, Charles Pyle, the logistics manager for the October event. And if there are no more questions, we will now bring an end to this media conference. We thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen of the media, for coming and for supporting this event.